One way I can introduce Anandvan is I can give you a factual information. I can tell you that this was founded in 1950 as a center for leprosy rehabilitation and treatment. It has directly or indirectly touched more than 2 million lives. 2 million. That number is right. I'm just repeating it once more. It currently has 5 projects across 4 of the most backward districts of our country. It has 4,000 full-time residents who are physically challenged in one way or the other. I can talk about the number of awards that Baba Amte and Anandvan have won, right from the Magsaysay Award to United Nations Human Rights Award to the Templeton Prize to International Gandhi Peace Prize, the list can go on. But I think, as we will discover in the conversation, Anandvan is much more than this. And they all like to say that it's a movement. And if I were to just describe you to today what all Anandvan has, and I'm sure you are seeing some of the pictures as they are rolling, Anandvan today has an old age home, it has a blind school, it has an orphanage, it has a school for hearing impaired, it has a center for artificial limbs, it has huge agriculture and horticulture projects that are run and managed by people who came to Anandvan as patients. It has a dairy, it has a cycle manufacturing unit, it has a greeting cards unit, and I can go on. And that's what Anandvan and Anandvan movement is. And when I was kind of preparing for this conversation, the real feeling I had that we truly live in a very cynical world. We hear words like transformation, people having infinite potential, so many times that we just, it's just like any other word that we use 100 times without even thinking about what the true meaning of the word is. But I think on rare occasions, you come across movements and people who truly live the meaning of these words. And when I read about Anandvan, I realized that this is one place, this is one movement which has truly lived the principle of transformation, the principle of human potential. And I thought, and Parmesh and I, when we were discussing, we thought it would be great to have this team with us and really have a conversation with them to understand what has been, driving them. And I'm sure it will really help all of us take a lot of learning from their journey. So thanks for bearing with me, but I thought it was important for us to kind of lay out this canvas before we start the conversation. So welcome once again, and we're absolutely delighted and privileged to have all of you with us. I thought I will start by asking you, when we think about leprosy patients and rehabilitation, it sounds like a medical, hospital, clinical work. But why has Anandvan always had, this whole thing about work and creation? These patients working and creating things as a big part of its movement. Can you tell us something about that?
Good evening, everyone. It was a personally great shock for me from woods to woodland. Difference between you and me that I opened my eyes. I was born in 1947. I open my eyes, I see a leprosy patient walking from all parts of India, which my father, Baba Amte, called deluge, floods of human beings, social tsunami, or human quake. In quake, natural quake, people get displaced because of the natural factors. And we have people getting displaced from society from all parts of India except Tamil Nadu, Kerala and part of Punjab or thing. But I never dreamt of that I will be asked same questions in 2016. Yes, it's the failure of the system. And my father was a lawyer. He was pleading the cause of the loneliest, the lowliest, the lost and the least and the last. So I had some acquaintance with senior Godrej SPG, whom I had some acquaintance ages back. So it's not out of place. But personally, I am coming here after a very, very long time in the new environment here. Yes, he was also concerned about World Wildlife Fund, WWF, and we are too equally concerned. We call it the sanctuary of love. We don't say no to anyone and go to anyone. It covers the whole spectrum from cradle to coffin. So all sorts of rejected and dejected people we are dealing with, and I'm sure 2.3 million is a huge number, it's not a small number. So my father said, never say no to anyone or never say go to anyone. So how to send them back? Because Baba Amte called that world's dirtiest and the deadliest of the places. People are not there by choice. Given a choice, they will be back with their own people, not stay with me. They are under social duress or social compulsions. So how to send them back? So he said, make their hands eloquent. Whatever time they lose here for treatment. Well, I was the first doctor ever to be appointed in 1971. But health is a very minimum proposition. Health is a micro proposition. Whereas medicine is a very micro proposition. Health is holistic approach. So my mother comes out first time to give them right to sexuality, right to companionship. So we planned a holistic approach of human development, and the part of time they lose with me in this midway home or halfway home, we equip them with various trades and vocations. But there again my father said, make them jack of all trades, master of some, not one, not none, and we don't give them degree. So in the name of this place, which is called the dirtiest of the places, if you come to my place, you won't see picture of my father or even awards in front of his eyes. So it's by the rejected, for the rejected and with the rejected. But now after 70 years, we say our work begins now. There is only one ration card. You have all unique identity cards. Everyone has that. After 70 years, their blood is not taken. They are not bled. So my daughter was first in surgery in Maharashtra. We said, why don't you take their blood? They said, no, it's the law of the land. So he said, you teach us that it's like any other disease. Why don't you take their blood? So they took the blood and they threw it in the Nala. So after 70 years, it's a great span of time in my life, also in the institution's time. We say our work begins now. And they are from all parts of India. So Fellowship of Pain has no caste, creed, region, religion or international frontiers. So a lot of people, once we were looked down, we were dreaded of the lot. Why in the world you know Amtes? People were not afraid of tigers and the panthers and the bears and the wild beasts, but they were afraid of even name Amte. Now I am here on this side of the thing, yes, but I want my people to come here. Yes, I was seeing that I have world's first therapeutic theatre because leprosy patient went to see cinema and the theatre was washed. So I haven't seen cinema for 40 years. So I have world's first therapeutic theatre launched by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who comes there very often, stays for 3 days. Dharmasthala, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Hegde, he comes there. He stays with leprosy patients. But we had not seen our relation for several years. Because my father saw God in Bhangi, in the scavenger. So Mahatma Gandhi called him king of scavengers. He was the first to start Union of Scavengers in 1939. So doing work of scavenging and leprosy patient. So it's a double barrel. So I had not seen my relation for 23 years. Now I'm in the august audience. Yes, you are so illustrious people from all parts of India, if not world. And I'm very proud to be here. And I had some association with senior Godrej because my father had 3 distinct movements. One was for all rejected people. Second was Knit India, national integration. And third was his environmental movement. So I came to meet senior Godrej at the instance of Dr. Narottam Shah, who was the founder of Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. He brought me to senior SP Godrej ji, and he took me also to Salim Ali. So my father was first to start the movement. Whether dams are good or bad, that's not a question. For whom you haven't done anything before independence and after independence, you have no right to displace them, and they don't know what is money. So he was for distributed justice, he was a lawyer, he was pleading the cause of the lost people. And that's what we want to send the people back to society.
Wonderful.
So we have to strategize.
Thank you so much. If you look at journey of Anandvan, which is started in 1950 and it continues, I'm sure it faced many, many challenges all throughout these decades. Can all of you talk about some of the big challenges that you faced, and how did you really tackle them?
Yes, sir, because that was his dictum that we crave to discover new challenges, but accept them. So when I say we cover the whole spectrum from cradle to coffin, so it covers all people who are in the need and never say no to anyone. And they are the challenges because we work in most primitive area of the country, the central India, couple of hours short of Nagpur. If you put a pin in central India in the middle thing, this Nagpur is a 0 mile by the Geological Survey of India. We are a couple of hours in Chanda district, that's now known as Chandrapur district, and there was no family. My parents were called as Buddhist couple of India, so no family enterprise. They didn't do anything for us. We just born and brought up in a family as any other person, and there is no politics because they have no voting rights, and there is no religion. If I mistake not, it's not out of place. My father said he had full compassion for God. God doesn't listen, He doesn't speak, He doesn't talk, He doesn't walk. So he said, my God is my ideal patient. You find only poor people dying in the tsunami and the earthquakes, and who have been rejected for no fault of theirs. If you say what is leprosy, how it is contracted, how it goes from one to other individual, why I haven't contracted leprosy, our fourth generation is working there, you'll get the Nobel Prize of Medicine, which has been eluding medical science for past 114 years. So for no fault of theirs, people get displaced. So my father had full compassion for God, but then he would say there are 100,000 solar systems. So do it what you can, do it yourself, don't delegate to God, God is very busy. There are a lot of problems of solar storms and Jupiter storms, Stephen Hawkins and Mr. Naralikal, you know all that. But he said food first. The Christ was concerned about great hunger and great thirst. Christ was his inspiration. He said, hunger rules supreme. When you are hungry, you go to your mother, you go to your wife, you go to your hotel, but you don't go to temple or church or mosque when you are hungry. If you are not out of place, how many of you know that? My father got the 7th Nobel Prize. How many of you know about it? It is known as the Templeton Prize. It was $700,000 US. It's known as the Templeton Prize. So I was in Westminster Abbey, Buckingham Palace and Guildhall for 3 days. Now the prize money is $2.1 million. Nobel Prize is $1.5 million. Hunger rules supreme. You don't eat dollars. When you're hungry, you go to you need brown bread, you need rice, you need food. So there's no religion. So religion is hunger. Hunger rules supreme. The great hunger and great thirst, we are dealing with that. And now I'm in the office, not the boss. So we have scores of people who have been trained in multiple vocations. You ask me what you don't do there. As Oxfam says, reasonable and rational needs of life. Except salt, sugar and kerosene, they produce everything. And the system participation was almost negative. So the last man, the last kind of land, so it's a journey from stones and stones, stone to milestones, and milestone to smilestones. So can I appreciate that? Thank you very much. So this is the journey. It's a long journey, and it can't be bracketed in few minutes. But there is nothing to be seen. And my father called them the war horses. They have lost the battle, but won the war against the disease. They need justice. So we have a land army. I don't say we are yagya, no spirituals. We have the wars. They are the warriors. And my father called them brand ambassadors. So you are all, I'm told you are from the country. Don't forget, we are also client of Godrej. Day one, we are your clients. And that's what, we are a corporate. As Dr. Swaminathan would say, we have something to offer to the society. What smart villages can be. So it's a self-taught and self-built. It's an experiment. And it's of a world order. So if the last man can do it, anybody can do it. So we have something to offer to the nation. I was also member Planning Commission, Government of India. Dr. Swaminathan, if you have heard, MS Swaminathan has been associated with my father since 1978. And that's what, we are a corporate. We are a corporate of all rejected people.
Absolutely.
Okay? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Maybe I thought I'll ask both of you at this stage. You have spent last 10, 15 years actually working, but I'm sure you have heard a lot of stories about the journey of Anandvan. So if I ask you the same question, if you take us back in time a little bit and reflect about some of the real major challenges Anandvan faced in its journey, what are a few things that you can share with us?
The first challenge was about opening the eyes of society. That was very difficult for us. My grandfather used to call it mental leprosy because we see a beggar, we see a handicapped person and we just pass by. We don't stop there to help that person. We just don't go beyond ourselves. So he said that the society is suffering from mental leprosy. We have to treat the society, not the patients. So we have been treating society for last 67 years. That was our first challenge. Second challenge was about finances. So my grandfather always believed that work builds, charity destroys. We always believed in working with what is left. And our philosophy as a medical doctor, my grandfather always told us that a doctor's responsibility does not end when the patient is treated or the surgery is completed. It ends only when the patient is retrained to live and work with what is left. So we go beyond ourselves. We just don't distribute medicines. We help the patients rewire their brains physically so that the physical construct of reality changes for themselves. They develop some kind of confidence, a pain friendships, that's PAIN friendship, and that's how they build relations and grow. So they build, they innovate, they construct.
Right.
They don't lose hope. They choose to build.
Sure.
They choose happiness over regret. So that's what we have been doing for all these years, rewiring their brains.
So any specific challenging periods that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I can speak more about finances.
Sure. Being a CA and a CS, we understand that. Sure. And I know you did a lot of work in that space in last 7-8 years. So why don't you tell us about that?
So, people ask me, when did you join Anandvan? So, I always say I never left. So, when I finished my chartered accountancy and company secretaryship, I came back and started working. So, at that time, we had many challenges in terms of finances. The grants towards leprosy patients, as you mentioned earlier, were just, you can't say even those were meager, less than
Absolutely.
that. So, the hike was done in 2012.
12-13,
I'm talking about 2003.
Right. That's right.
So, rearranging the finances, as like in the corporate world, you have to cut down some expenses and all those stuff.
Right.
When I started doing my CA and CS, I could better understand the problems with regard to finances, with regard to legal formalities and all that.
Absolutely.
So I took up that job and tried to restructure the whole
organization
mechanism in terms of finances, computerize the whole system with few people who offered their help voluntarily. And today we are in the position that we can move out and offer something more to the society, whatever
That's
we have.
About that you are doing.
I will come to that later.
We'll come to that. Right. One of the most amazing things as you kind of study the phenomenon of Anandvan is you realize that, you know, as and when these patients have joined and some of them got treated and they were fully cured, they've individually gone on to set up businesses within Anandvan and grow them. And I was really thinking about this as we come from our side of the world. We look at the CV, we look at the degrees, we even look at which institute somebody has graduated from when we take our hiring decisions. And here are people who have no limbs, no digits sometimes, no education. They come to Anandvan as people who have been ostracized by their own family. And what happens in Anandvan that brings them to a stage where they not only start something, They actually lead now large, there's somebody who leads the dairy work, somebody who leads the agriculture work. These have all been patient. So please tell us what is it that happens at Anandvan?
I'll just narrate the story of this particular entrepreneur that he's talking about. His name is Gajanan Vasu. He's a serial entrepreneur. 3 decades ago, he contracted leprosy and he was thrown away from his village. Leprosy was a very dreaded disease. So he was shunned by his village and his entire family. He told me one day that I had only 2 options, either to commit suicide or go mad. However, he chose the third option. He was referred to Anandvan by somebody and he came. So that time he was reskilled because then he was under depression. So after finishing medical treatment, he was reskilled and he started working in the post office as a postman. Later on, because he showed a lot of passion and zeal to work, he was appointed as a worker and a manager of a cloth production unit where he would produce cloth worth millions of rupees. Later on, he expressed a desire to innovate. So my father made him an in charge of the plastic reuse unit. So your plastic reuse unit is a very unique unit where we collect plastics from all the villages, wash it and use it in various products such as mattresses, pillows, then carpets, bricks and check dams. The technology was devised by my father and Gajanan Vasu actually implemented that. He was only 7th standard pass, but now Gajanan Vasu started building check dams with plastic and tires. So that's how he grew, and one day he was made the in charge of then languishing dairy. That time in 2005, I am telling you, our dairy was quite languishing because people used to throw the milk produced by Anandvan dairy into gutters because it was produced by leprosy patients. Today, Gajanan Vasu sells milk at 60 rupees a litre, which is a regional high, and the dairy makes a revenue of 1.5 crores every year. We have 350 cattle and Gajanan Vasu lives in the dairy day in and day out. So, Gajanan Vasu has been quoted as an inspirational entrepreneur by many of the entrepreneurship summits. So, I'll tell you what happens basically. I've been studying because I'm a public health person. I've been studying this phenomena for last many years. So, I got a very interesting article about it. Neuroscience tells us that our thoughts are electrical charges that are transmitted by the cells called as neurons. So then in our brain there are cells called as neurons and there are clefts between each neurons called as synaptic clefts. So when a thought is generated, the one neuron passes an electrical charge, a chemical transmitter gets released in the cleft and the other neuron takes it up. So when the similar thought is generated, in order to reduce that synaptic space, the neurons come together. So when this is how we shape ourselves. This is how we shape our happiness index. This is how the brain physically changes itself. It rewires itself. So we can choose to rewire our own brains. Linking this to Gajanan Vasu's story, what we have been doing to Gajanan is very simple. When he came to us, we never talked about his disability. We always talked about positivity. We provided him resources and whenever was required, we gave him a pat on his back. So that was all that was required for Gajanan Vasu to produce a revenue of 1.5 million annually. But timely resources and timely pats are very required. So you have to be inside the community, very vigilant, keeping a watch on them so that you can precisely calculate the timing of that pat. That's how you do it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great. The next thing I wanted to ask all of you is, again, if you look at last few decades, right from beginning of Anandvan to today, the world as well as our country has changed in so many ways, more ways than one. How has Anandvan changed?
Yes, they were walking alone since a pre-biblical period and they decide to walk together. That makes the difference. and the trainee has become the trainer. So it never happened in the human history. I told you some time ago that we are made to map. There was a film by Swiss people calling it Kibbutz of the Sick. But we call it a homeland. We called a niche on the map. So our NGO is on the map now. This is the only NGO in India. You can understand that it is made to map. That's why we call it a homeland, who are displaced people. And they didn't stop short of themselves. So the first time in human history, they helped the visually challenged, the hearing challenged, the physically challenged, the deaf, other, so it covers the whole spectrum. We didn't stop short of only ourselves, because my wife gave them right to parenthood. Just don't forget that we are not a Baba Amte and Sons Private Limited. The third generation of everyone is working there. My wife, she is highly qualified. She gave them right to parenthood. She is not here. She gave them right to parenthood. So third generation, but you are all entrepreneurs, you are all managers. I heard about you. But you got to see the product. You got to see the parents. They are so dilapidated, so rejected by the society. But you got to see their produce. It's so handsome. It's so handsome. So we are just part of an extended family. When I say that my parent didn't do anything, no, he's my great entrepreneur. You got serial killers, you got serial kissers. We have serial entrepreneurs. So you can appreciate that, serial entrepreneurs.
Actually,
so they are enterprises and entrepreneurship. I would have been happy with my stethoscope, but it's a micro need. And when I say health, so now they have become the trainers.
Sure.
They are that threshold.
Yeah. Actually, when you talked about great products, I remember when I was reading and you just saw about the carpet manufacturer. I was reading in the book, there's a great book that Anand has published on the work of Anandvan that says that their carpet, the orders that you have a backlog of some 2 years. There are so many orders that they're not able to fulfill. That's the kind of quality product that is getting produced. You were saying something, yeah.
See, the system of Anandvan is very flexible. It's very people-centric. So people come together, they decide what they want to do, and then they go ahead. So it develops organically. We do not have any ISO system because we don't want to bind ourselves to a particular system. That is why we changed according to times. This is the precise difference between other Gandhian NGOs and Anandvan. Other NGOs died over time because they refused change. We have been changing and changing and changing. We invite new thoughts, we get ourselves trained, and we inculcate that into our system. That's how we are growing. And in Anandvan, people work with a sense of motivation born out of a commitment to a shared dream that is very much of their own, which is communally envisaged.
Sure.
And the community is free of any religion. We practice religions individually, but the most important point why we have that community harmony is because we don't have any temple in Anandvan.
Sure.
People live together, we eat together, we are very much inside the community with the people. Couple of years, somebody from the World Health Organization asked me, why do you identify the problems, the community problems, maybe 10 years earlier than what WHO could have done? So I told him, because we live closer to the community, 10 years done with WHO, that's why we identify. So that is how, if you have to envisage the system of Anandvan, just read about the Google headquarters and you will get it.
Sure.
All the Google things are practiced at Anandvan. Flexibility.
Right. Actually, that's a fascinating thing that you said, that people come together and take decisions. Can you say a little more, how does that work? And I remember when he was saying, and you'll all find this very interesting, that I think Anandvan has a Gram Panchayat, right? And the Sarpanch is a patient, ex-patient who is now the head of the Gram Panchayat. Can you tell us how that works? Because that's, I think, very relevant to the point that you made.
See, because people are bound to each other by love and thoughts and emotions. We do not have elections, somebody going out and preaching for himself, giving out money. People choose one person, that has to be from a particular caste because it has been denoted by the government. It's a, yeah.
Sure.
So we have been doing this for many years, and we choose a leader who has demonstrated certain qualities over the years. So that's how we elect our Sarpanch. And now for last many years, we have been working on this concept called as smart village. We have achieved about 65% of that. 35% is remaining. So most of Anandvan is green. We have, all our kitchens are solar kitchens. We have battery operated vehicles. We aspire to have more, and we propose to be a net carbon negative economy in 10 years down the line. But we have, I invite you to invest in us.
It's just a great answer to how Anandvan has changed with the world. The one question that I'm sure all of us want to ask all three of you is, about the person called Baba Amte. And as I was saying earlier, that when you read about people like that, it's actually difficult to believe that someone like that actually existed and lived and worked. Please tell us, if you, and all of you have had obviously privilege of seeing him from such close quarters.
Yes, because if it's not out of place, my father was on deathbed, and the director of Tata Institute of Social Sciences comes there. He said it's a desire of Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and Mr. Ratan Tata and his team that they want to decorate my father with a doctorate. He had several doctorates across the globe, but we were very happy that after 44 years, Dr. Homi Bhabha, Dr. Radhakrishnan, and then my father was there. So the director asked the question, Baba Amte, why and how you succeeded in life? He said, it's with the people, not for the people. It's so simple. Sure. So it's so simple when I say that we are there. Sure. So he was, because leprosy patients, even now, they have no driving license. I drove lorries donated by Honorable J.R.D. Tata, who was very deeply attached to my father, and there's been immense participation from House of Tatas. So my whole life I went driving a lorry where people didn't know what is salt. So I was driving 350 kilometers of lorry, washing my hands and operating upon eyes of leprosy patient, because I was the first doctor in Maharashtra to operate upon eyes of leprosy patient. Nobody touched leprosy patient. Right. Now I have Lions International Eye Hospital, gift by my Mamaji, your former Sheriff Ashok Mehta was first Lions International, who came there often. Right. And it's a gift of a Lions Club. So we have Lions International Eye Hospital there. Sure. So I began as an eye surgeon then. I had no choice because nobody touched the leprosy patient. Right. So those who hated to live, now they hate to leave this planet. And since 2005, I work in a most primitive area called Kolam, and after her graduation, she joined me there. And people don't know what is milk even now. It's the most primitive tribe. I was the first doctor to be working amongst in the Dandakaranya forest, where people do not know what is farming. That was the Mother Earth. And here it was a Go Mata, it's a mother, holy cow, so you don't milk your mother. She was working there. Sure. And I took 100 leprosy patients who served as brand ambassadors. Right. And you can see there, my chief engineer hasn't got a finger left. And if you come to see my housing, it's not low cost. It's low on cost, high on quality. It's low on cost, high on quality, no steel, no timber. Right. So my batchmate was Dr. Nitu Mandke. If you heard Dr. Nitu Mandke, right. He opened the chest when he had the herringbone stitch. So in my housing there, you have a herringbone bond, right. Which is crack resistant. So out of 100 agencies, leprosy patients were chosen first. In the Killari, in the earthquake. Right. So they are earthquake resistant, maintenance free, thermodynamics and aerodynamics are taken care of. Then I am a good man, I contract leprosy, you throw me out. The plastic is good. We use in all sorts of ways, very good. and once we make use it, we just throw it. The tires are very nice, we make use of tires, we maintain tires and we throw it. तो मैं कहता हूँ हमेशा मैं भंगार का ठेकेदार हूँ, आप लोगों ने जो सारे फेंक दिए चीज़ें हैं, so we have the recovery options. It's the world's first check dam built by rejected people from the rejected stuff. So you got to see to believe is the need of the hour, is the need of the hour. So if you can focus on that,
actually that
you can buy mineral water, but not the dam. So I got several such tire dams. It needs audition, not Amtes. It needs audition. If the leprosy patients can do it, anybody can do it.
The Kilari story that you mentioned, and one of the fascinating parts about this story is that, you know, we may tend to think that Anandvan is a place that needs support, but there are many times in the history when Anandvan has gone out and supported. And Kilari that you were mentioning, when our country had this terrible earthquake, Anandvan engineers went to Kilari and built houses for the
you can see this
people.
house there.
That's the house,
there.
right? Yeah, that's the house.
So this is the check dam.
Right.
So I was advisor to SARC on housing. The House of Tatas put me in the internet, in the their website.
Okay.
So when there was earthquake somewhere, they would invite me. But my leprosy patient cannot board a bus. They cannot board a railway. So I had to take out that site off from the internet.
Wow. Right. So I must ask both of you about the same question. Baba Amte's leadership and his life. I know it's very difficult to answer in such a short time, but if you were to talk about few things that you really took from his life, what would they be?
So one thing that I realized about my grandfather was he was a complex man. He lived many lives in one life. So initially, during the initial years of his life, he was son of a landlord. He was a freedom fighter. For some time, he was a sadhu. And then he was a lawyer. But he had that great quality in him, quality of renunciation of whatever he had. He used to wipe out his entire past and get into a new role in his life. So once he came across a leprosy patient who was lying in a gutter, and he feared that patient and he ran away. And then he got very disturbed that night. And to conquer his own fear, he came back. He took that patient into his arms and caressed him for some time. That patient died. But that time he decided that I'll renounce everything and I'll give my life to the leprosy patients. That's how, that is a great quality. You know, we cannot just forget what we did in the past. So that was one quality. Second quality was his messages were very verbose. But the message, the message used to denote a very simple thing that every man on this earth could do. Simple messages like planting trees, you know, donating your eyes, donating blood. So all these things do not want you to be a rich person or a poor person. They don't differentiate castes, creeds and religions. So these were his simple things. And the third thing, he was a great leader. But he always said that I am not a great leader. Neither I am a follower. I am the captain of the team. So he always was with the team. He was there to leave that ship at the last moment. This was third quality. And fourth was, he was, I mean, there was nothing in him that you would love. He was a angry young man, and you know, he used to get furious on simple things and all those things which one would hate. Not a typical corporate personality. But one thing that he had in him was forgiveness. He would just wipe out this other person's act and take him into his embrace and, you know, just go ahead. So these were some of his leadership qualities that I really adore.
Add something.
Yeah, as he rightly said, he never wanted to be general of the army, the land army. He told you a few moments back.
Right.
He always wanted to be the captain. So I asked him once, why is it so? So he said, captain always goes to the front. General's role is also important, but captain goes to the front. So he always wanted to be the captain of the team.
Absolutely.
And another thing, we would always say, Anandvan should not become an island of prosperity amidst the ocean of poverty. So look beyond you. Always look beyond you. So benefits should always be passed on to the other disadvantaged sections of the society.
Absolutely.
So with that, Anandvan has always endeavored to crave for new challenges and accept them. So that's what we
during my
learned.
research, and this is there in the book, some of you have talked about it. Baba Amte apparently used to say that a lot of times we talk about the journey being from lightness to the dark, from dark to the lightness. I'm told he used to say that my journey is from lightness to the dark. Once one place comes, in light, my job is to move and look for the next darkness. And if you read his biography, once Anandvan reached certain stage, and obviously you kind of took over after that point, he left Anandvan, went to I think Somnath. From Somnath he went to Hemalkasa. And I think many of us probably, I didn't know it till I kind of did the
he
research.
would always say that
Last 12 years of his life, he was at Narmada Bachav Andolan along with the villagers, staying in a small hut that literally his small team had built for himself. So that's the point that you were making, which is just...
he would say, I always wanted to be a mechanic with an oil can. Wherever I see the breakdown, I'll offer my help and move ahead. I won't look back again.
Absolutely.
That's how.
One question specifically to both of you actually. I'm sure it's a legacy that is incredibly energizing and inspiring, but I'm sure also it's a legacy that puts a lot of responsibility on both of you. So two questions really. How have you dealt with this legacy as individuals, and what's next for Anandvan? Where does Anandvan go from here? So
She talks about legacy.
sure.
I'll talk about that.
Okay.
The first challenge in front of us was that of a prototype social worker with khadi kurta and beard and choli and messed up hair. So we chose not to follow that. We broke that prototype. A lot of people started following us because what we believe is your work should speak not through your clothes and how you look. It should appear in front of people in a different format.
Sure.
So that is one challenge. The legacy is really beautiful, but at times it's really challenging to move ahead because so much has been done by all these people that we really face a problem to innovate again.
Sure.
Already everything is there on the platter.
Sure.
Anandvan is like a kebab platter. You have all sorts of kebabs.
Sure.
And then if you have to innovate, that's a problem. Third problem in our family particularly is that everybody is a brand. My grandfather is a brand, my father, my uncle, their wives, their children, my cousins, my husband, everybody is a brand. So I find it very difficult to establish myself as a brand, and this is a problem faced by other persons also. This is a very personal problem,
Sure.
but I'm sharing it as a very honestly.
Sure.
Fourth problem, and fourth thing, people think that these people have got a lot of money because my grandfather used to get prizes worth 1 crore, Gandhi Peace Prize. But they never knew that Baba Amte, after getting that check, he faxed that check the next moment to SBI and the bank accepted a faxed check
1 crore.
because
It
he
is 1
did
crore.
not want to lose the interest for that day.
He was first recipient of
We have
International
donated-
Gandhi Peace Prize.
Yeah.
So I faxed it from President's house. So the fax check
They
was because
accepted.
they couldn't deny the signature of the President of India.
Yeah. So we have donated
5 crores.
more than 5 crores
5
to the
crores.
organization, all our personal wealth. Why? Because, it's a very small thing I would like to, it's described by a Jewish rabbi called as Joseph Soloveitchik. He said that in each person, there are two sides of each person. It's Adam 1 and Adam 2. So Adam 1 looks for building his CV and Adam 2 builds his eulogy speech. Adam 1 works on resume values. Adam 1 builds, innovates, creates and grows. He works by economic logic. He's very ambitious, he's worldly and he grows, innovates. Adam 2 works by moral logic. It's an internal logic and it says that you have to give to forgive. You have to forget to, to build your inner resources. So there is always this conflict between Adam 1 and Adam 2. If I ask you, what are the more important virtues? So I'm sure a lot of you will say that the eulogy virtues are more important because this is what people describe after you die, what type of person you were, what was your character, how were your relationships and all other things. But in this economic world, we seek to build our resume virtues more than that. We largely neglect our eulogy virtues. In our family, what I found is that we do not have a strong CV. We do not have a bank balance. But our eulogy virtues, we have been building that for years and years together. So we have these fixed deposits of the blessings of people in our bank accounts that come very handy. Whenever we seek help, within 5 minutes, we get help. So that is what is our real asset. Money is very transitory, it goes off. Our eulogy things. I always see that, I should not repent when I die. I get to do everything in Anandvan.
Sure.
I'm very entrepreneurial. Everything is there in Anandvan. So what I feel that I have a certain bank balance. I'm sure my US visa will be rejected based on that. But they have to accept me based on my eulogy virtues. I have got a good fixed deposit of blessings with me. So that is how we work.
Also, so you have been involved in some very interesting work of
next
taking
part,
Anandvan out.
Yeah. So, as I said, it has always been our endeavor to crave for new challenges and accept them. So, everybody knows this is the second consecutive year of drought in Maharashtra. The Marathwada region and the western Vidarbha region of Maharashtra are worst hit. So, as the crop fails, banks don't deliver and government falters, the marginalized farmers, they get easily dragged in the debt trap laid by the crooked money lenders. Marathwada region is also known for seasonal migration of marginalized farmers in that cane cutting.
Right.
So, roughly some 10 lakh farmers migrate every year.
Right.
That is because of absence of any other option towards livelihood. And the Beed district of Marathwada is the largest hub of this migration. And another point is, it is shocking to know, but even 10,000 rupees of debt takes a farmer in Yavatmal district. It's on record, I am not saying it's on record. Takes a farmer in Yavatmal district to resort to suicide. Even 10,000 rupees. So, with this all woeful plights of marginalized farmers as well as farm laborers,
Right.
we at Anandvan felt it is high time to directly intervene, starting with two fields. One is livelihood promotion activities and another is watershed development. So, we identified two tehsils, two drought hit and most backward tehsils. One is Ashti in Beed district of Marathwada region. Another is Zari Jamni in Yavatmal district. You know Yavatmal, what is Yavatmal due to farmer suicides, unfortunately. So that is another tehsil. And we have already visited some 60-70 villages in those tehsils, and work has already started.
And you're launching it as a Samajban Abhiyan.
I come to that. So we have christened the name of this initiative as Anandvan Samajban Abhiyan. It was formally launched on 1st of January 2016, and the work has just begun. And with whatsoever little expertise we have in the field of rural development,
we'll take that outside.
we want to take it forward. We are also ready to join hands with similar
organizations,
thinking, NGOs, foundations, and public innovators who can take this forward. And I'm confident that the House of Godrej will also be our co-traveler in this journey. Thank you so much.